Countdown. Start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, establish connection. Oh, there we go. Now it's working.
Coming to you live from a top-secret quarantined subterranean vault, it's Streamin' the Steam with John Sprocket. I used to travel the land, playing steam-powered songs with my band. But for the time it seems I've been quarantined, so now I'm just streaming the steam coming through your broadband. Streamin' the Steam is broadcast to a live audience.
Hello. How's it going, everybody? Good to see you all. Thank you. Hello, my name is John Sprocket, and this is sort of Streaming the Steam. As you can see from the little notation up here, this is being labeled as more a spontaneous stream, which is a thing I do whenever I just spontaneously go live. But the reason is I had absolutely no time to plan a show today. I came close to canceling it, but I didn't want to cancel again. But I also didn't want to put together just a really, really bad show because I didn't even have time to edit the interview. So I figured, you know what? I don't want to cancel the show, but I don't want to do a bad show. So I'm just going to do a different show. So I'm out of costume. I'm out of character. I'm just being me. I'm going to play some songs, and I'll probably be a little more interactive. How's everybody doing? Let's engage with the chat a little bit more. Hello, everybody. I see people already joining in. We have Steam-Powered Avocado. I like that name. And Steam-Powered Soul. There's a lot of Steam-Powered people in this thing. That's great. Calico the Great, good to see you again. Yes, we are all here together once again. It is good to be back with all of you. I'm going to play some songs. I don't really know what I'm going to do. If you want, we can do a little Q&A. I can give you a little tour of the studio. I don't know. We can do some different stuff today. Today is kind of up in the air. So feel free to start chatting and commenting if you want, if you have any suggestions for what you'd like, because I have had zero. Well, no, I can't say zero sleep. I had 2 hours of sleep. Okay, so today was the deadline for finishing the last socially distanced cinema cartoon. If you have been watching, you'll know the past 3 months in a row I have done cartoons for And You Films called Socially Distanced Cinema, which takes classic movies and has social distancing apply within them. We've done Avengers. Before that, we did Jurassic Park. And now we just finished up Jaws. So I was up all night. I got about 2 hours of sleep and then had to get back up and finish a little bit more work on the animation. And that's how it goes sometimes. But like I said, I didn't want to cancel. I'm here. I'm live. So, it's casual. It's laid back. Pants are optional. I mean, well, for you. For me, I'm on camera. So I'm wearing pajama pants, though. So it is very casual. But so you can wear whatever you want. This is not Zoom. This is just one way. I can't see what's going on. So, Steam-Powered Avocado, you are hot and sweaty. You know what? You might be wondering why I'm wearing a hoodie in the middle of June. Or I guess we're getting close to the end of June, middle of summer. Well, it's because the air conditioning in this house is very good, and it gets freezing in this studio. If you can see under this little toy piano, there is an AC vent right there that blows cold air into the studio, and because it's such a small space, this room gets freezing more than any other room in the house, which I'm not complaining about because I get hot and sweaty very, very easily, so it's a nice way of keeping me cool. But when I'm not performing or recording or really doing something where I'm exerting myself, then I'm pretty chilly in here. Hello, greetings to you in the Ukraine or Ukraine. You don't need to say the, right? This is one of those things I always heard and got used to. But hello to you in Ukraine. Sorry. See, I'm not really good with keeping up with the chat and stuff. I want to play a song I don't even have a song planned for today. Let me just pick something out. What's something I haven't done in a little while that would be fun to do? Yeah, let's kick things off with Loverboy. I have done that on the show before, but I'm not being as strict today because, like I said, I'm just playing some music and doing stuff. All right, and feel free to shout any comments out as well or suggestions if you have any requests, and I'll see if I can actually think of them off the top of my head if it's one I haven't done in a while. Hello to you. Hello in Finland, Hungary, Canada, people from all over the place. Something dark and evil, I see. Okay, well, there's a creepy guy in the house. There's a creepy guy in the house. He looks just like a mouse, but a creepy guy in the house. There. That was spontaneous. Hello to you in Germany. Good to see you all. All right, let me play Loverboy. This is from the first album, Steam-Powered Stories. Oh, lover boy, that woman's heart is not a toy. Don't play with her affections or falsify her joy. Just settle down, then stop running around. Soon you're gonna wind up down 6 feet underground. Lover boy, you're gonna make me so annoyed. You better stop at once before her spirits are destroyed. So cut it out. Well, it's not what love's about. Well, you'll regret your actions, I know without a doubt. No, wow. See? This is how it's spontaneous. I'm like, normally I run through the songs. Anyway, let's jump into that. She's so pure and shows such sweet affections. All you do is try to please yourself. If you fail to go the right direction, I may have to lead you down myself. Lover boy, your actions make me so annoyed. Better stop at once before her spirits are destroyed. So cut it out. But it's not what love's about. You'll regret your actions, I know without a doubt. Woo! Lover boy, what happened to your prior joy? Your lady learned the truth and now she moved to Illinois. You'll take no wife, so hold your friend and strife. Welcome a disease you'll be carrying for life. Well, lover boy, one of these old boy. Congratulations, lover boy. Yeah, lover boy, one of these old boy. Lover boy, that's right. Thank you all so very much. Oh, so there's a request for We All Have Fears, and also Oil in the Floor, and Miss Sprocket. Man, you know what? All right, well, I'm already going back into character. I'm so used to doing the accent and just being John Sprocket. But I have not ever played Miss Sprocket live. If I can remember how that goes. There she was, and my heart, it just wasn't prepared for her. I'm a little bit scared of her. Yeah, I'll have to practice that one because I have never played that ever. Like, not acoustically, not on a stream, not even. Yeah, that's one that was recorded and then just somehow never got played. So you'll notice I don't have my red lights on in here. This is kind of how the studio normally looks when I'm not doing the show. I like to have a little bit of lighting, you know, for the theatricality of it all. But yeah, well, since this is a little bit different, I guess I can show you a little bit of the studio and give you a little bit of a tour. Now, I should warn you, I've been doing animation for 3 months straight. I have not had time to clean. There's a big pile of stuff over here because literally day and night I'm just in here either working on music, working on animation, preparing for the show. So just keep that in mind. You know, I'm I'm one of these creative-minded people that I can only focus on one thing at a time. So when I'm deep in production and working, stuff just kind of falls where it lands. So let me grab the camera for the first time and take you on a little bit of a tour. First of all, right over here, you'll see this is where my guitars are. I've just got a nice guitar rack right here. I like to keep them all right within arm's reach so that if I'm sitting here at the keyboard or at the computer working, I can just grab a guitar, bring it over, and start playing, start recording. Now here we have the desk and the workstation. As you can see, I've got a MIDI controller keyboard, 2 monitors, and you can see I've got OBS running right there. This is my streaming software that I use to run the show. Okay, so when I'm working, I have Pro Tools open, and I have one window over here for my mix. What do you call it? The mix window, and I have the other window, the edit window. So that's sort of the setup. Let me back up a little bit so you can get a better view of the desk. So I've got 2 PreSonus studio monitors. Those are the Aris E5 studio monitors. And acoustic foam all around. That really helps to keep this room from echoing, because you don't want echo in a vocal booth. And I know I'm extremely close right now. So the lights in here are literally just desk lamps with gels. Gels are, lighting gels like you would use in a theater. So I literally use gaff tape and these colored light gels and just put them over the lights to get the different colored lights, which is how I get the shades of blue or shades of red or, whatever I need for the mood. And I can use those for videos or for or just lighting the show, photography, just whatever I need them for. The camera, this is my newer camera right here. This is a Panasonic Lumix G8.5. New camera, it shoots in 4K. I've been using this for a few music videos and things, and it's a pretty nice camera. I know some of you probably don't care about tech stuff, so I'm not really going to get too much into all the tech things. But over here we have the audio interface, 8-channel audio interface. On top of that, I've got my headphones. I just got this literally yesterday, the headphone stand. So now my headphones have a place to sit instead of just going on the floor. Also a compressor. This is a DBX 266XS compressor. I can run my microphone right here into the compressor and then into the audio interface. And anyway, that's a little bit of the studio. Right outside the studio is the living room, but I have been doing video productions lately because I've been quarantined. And so everything I've been doing has been completely on my own in here. So I've got a green screen set up. Let me open the door. Yeah, it's kind of messy right now. Everything's messy. That's the way I am. I'm a messy person. just so you guys know, my parents know, they're watching. So yeah, I haven't grown out of it. I try. But yeah, I got the green screen out here. Right now I've got an electronic drum kit set up that I plan to use for a music video as well as recording. It's very similar to the electronic drum kit that we used when recording Carnival Clockwork. Renata used one very similar to that because I've never recorded acoustic drums. It's for me, recording acoustic drums is really, really challenging to get the sound right. So I use electronic drums, but I use real drum samples on the recordings. So you're hearing real drums, but they're controlled within Pro Tools and performed either on a MIDI drum or electronic drum kit or done in MIDI. And so that way, the audio quality. I know some people don't like drum samples, but they honestly sound phenomenal as far as clarity and quality goes. So that's what I've always used for all the Cog Is Dead stuff, with the exception of a few times when we've used real drums. On the first album, we had real snare that Tony Seville was playing, and we had some real bongos and little percussion and stuff like that. Oh, thank you. Crimson Chronic, you say, it's not worse than your apartment. Oh, trust me. I think most well, I can't say most people, but a lot of people are kind of messy and cluttered. When I film a music video in here, I straighten up. Also, that's why you'll notice this angle of the room always looks pretty decent. I keep the clutter out of camera view. I'll get back to some music. So someone asks, how many guitars do I have? Well, I don't have really many more than you see in the room here, but let's see. I have 3 steel string acoustics, 1 nylon string acoustic, 3 electric guitars, plus the big electric guitar that I have, the first Steampunk one I made. Then I've got a bass, an acoustic bass. I have the electric bass. And do I have any other guitars, or is that it? So I guess I have 10 guitars, which is more than I thought I had. Yeah, and I think I have 11. I have one more, my other Steampunk one, right? Is that it? Wait, do I have 12? I've lost track. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I've got 4 steel string acoustics, 1 nylon string acoustic, and all the others. So yeah, I have a handful of guitars, and I use quite a few of them for recording and for different purposes. This one here, oops, that's something that also happens all the time. This one was a gift from my wife just recently. This is a Les Paul SL, which is it's a newer, cheaper one, but actually it's probably really out of tune. This is the guitar I used on Myrta versus the Big City, or Myrta against the Big City. I just love the way this guitar sounds for ska music and stuff like that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. This reminds me of Bare Naked Ladies. What do you call it? This is me in grade 9. This is me in grade 9, baby. Yeah, this is me in grade 9. This is me in grade 9. This is me in grade 9, baby. This is me in grade 9. Big fan of Bare Naked Ladies. Did I customize the guitars myself? Yes. Any of the guitars that have been customized, I customized. The first one I ever did was, let's see, because I can't get to it because it's like in behind this curtain. Behind this curtain is a whole storage area that's full of all kinds of things. But that's basically the overflow space. But yeah, the first guitar I ever did was a Dean ML, and I used it actually just recently in the Trouble is a Friend video. So let me mute this for a second. All right. And switch over from the webcam. Let's see if I can do that. All right, here we go. So that right there is the first guitar that I ever customized. It was basically, when I first bought it, it was solid black. So I repainted the whole thing with a metallic spray paint. It was like a hammered metal. Added like hand-painted rust textures and things to it. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. The gears, those are all just gears that I got from various toys and things. I went to Goodwill and I bought a bunch of any kind of mechanical toys that seemed like they would have gears in them. And then I just took the gears out. You can kind of see some of the gears there. And oh yeah, by the way, this is the latest single, "Trouble Is a Friend," which is a cover of a song by Lenka. And how do I switch back over? Hold on a second. And there we go. It's a cover of a song by Lenka. That is out now. But there's another song that will be coming very soon. Actually, coming in about 2 weeks, and I'm very excited about it. And I think I want to give you all just a small sneak preview of it. If you want to become a patron, you'll actually be able to hear the whole thing, even though it's coming out in 2 weeks. So this song's not coming out for 2 weeks. It's a cover, but it will be on Patreon tomorrow. So anyone who wants to be a patron and donate, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. I am very happy with the way the song turned out. Like I said, I'm just going to play a snippet of it. But I have always found it really challenging to get a really big, heavy rock sound, like to sound proper, to get the balance to sound right. And basically what I mean is, like, songs don't usually turn out the way that I imagine them. Like, I hear them in my head a certain way, and I work mixing and stuff because, you know, I do all the recording and mixing myself. I don't, like, go to a producer or do a studio. It's all done here. So it's always been a challenge. But this is probably the happiest I have ever been with a mix of, like, a big rock sound, and actually got it pretty close to the way I wanted it to sound.
Slowly he got juju apple, he was holy roller, he got hair down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please.
Yep, that is a sample of the upcoming cover of Come Together by the Beatles, which, man, seriously, and I don't usually, like, go on about my production, because honestly, I feel like most of the time my production is terrible. I'm extremely critical of my work, and I still look back at almost everything that I do and cringe listening to things and think, oh man, I really should have done that better. So that's why I said this is the first time I've been super excited about a mix and the way it sounded. I'm really happy with the production on this song. So anyway, like I said, that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks, but it'll be on Patreon tomorrow. And speaking of Patreon, if anyone would like to become a patron and show support, you can do so at patreon.com/the Cog Is Dead. Where's over here? On Patreon, for as little as $1 a month, you can support. It basically is a way to help fund the continuous production of music. The money goes back into things like the electric bill for the studio, or purchasing upgrades for software, new plugins, just the general things that are needed in order to keep doing and keep growing with the music and keep making more music. In fact, like that version of Come Together that I worked on recently, that's the result of a few different newer plugins I got. I got a new vocal plugin. I really like the way that the mix sounds with it. I got a new drum collection that has really, really heavy sounding drums. So as I said, Patreon is a big way to help just keep everything growing and getting bigger and better. So if you want to become a patron, you'll be able to hear the song on Patreon tomorrow. And the other tiers have other things, including guitar tutorials, which, speaking of which, I have to make another guitar tutorial, and other things. Anyway, let me get back on track wherever I was. I'm all over the place, but like I said, today this is a whole different kind of show. It's a very late, but if you're joining late, I got no sleep last night. Well, no, I got 2 hours of sleep last night, but I had no time to plan a show, but I still wanted to do something, so I'm like, I'm just going to go live, keep it casual, no real plan, just join you guys, chat, play some songs. So, let me back up a little bit. Oh yeah, and also merchandise on Teespring, if you want t-shirts and things, like this shirt right here, Streaming the Steam, coffee mugs. All of that helps as well. Okay, let me move that out of the way. Oh yeah, and be sure to leave a tip if you're enjoying things. Give me money, please. This is all I do. I sit at home and I make stuff. Can't you help me out? Sorry. There we go. Just trying to clear the graphic. Like I said, I've had 2 hours of sleep. Don't mind me. So there were some other questions I wanted to get back to. First of all, how did I find out about steampunk? Actually, the funny thing is when starting the Cog Is Dead, we chose the name before I had ever heard of steampunk. It was completely random. I was hanging out at a friend's house, and he had a book that was a collection of plays by Tom Stoppard, and what was the name of the play? The Real Thing, I want to say, something like that. But anyway, I picked up a book off the shelf and was just goofing around. I opened it up to a random page, pointed to it, and decided to read whatever I happened to be pointing to. So I looked, and my finger was pointing at a line that said, "The Cog is Dead." So I just read that out loud. Now, at that time, we were starting the band, me, my friend Chris, my dad Tony, and Joel, who joined not too long after. But it was in the really early stages. This is in 2006, and but my friend Will knew we were starting a band. And so when I said, "The Cog is Dead," he goes, "Oh, that should be your band name," because we hadn't settled on a band name yet. And I was like, I guess. It's weird, but it's unique. That's the only reason it stuck with me, because I thought of a few different band names and none of them really stuck. But just something about that, the name The Cog Is Dead was definitely different from any other band. So I'm like, well, at least maybe it'll stand out and people will notice that. So that's how the name came to be. Later on, I came across a steampunk guitar, not looking for steampunk, obviously, because I didn't know what it was, but I was looking for just crazy custom guitar ideas, because I just thought it would be fun to take a guitar and instead of just being, its standard factory look, I wanted to either repaint it or add things on or just make something, again, unique. Just like I said, the name of The Cog Is Dead was unique and stood out. I figured, I'll make a guitar that's different and stands out. So I was looking up unique guitars on Google, and I found a picture of a steampunk guitar. And I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, because I hadn't heard of steampunk at the time, but the look of it was really cool. It had, lots of metal plating and rivets and gears, and was very industrial and mechanical, and I just thought it was really, really cool. So I showed it to Chris, who was playing bass at the time with us, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's steampunk," and I'm like, "What is steampunk?" So he introduced me to steampunk, and I thought it was really cool. I didn't even know that it was a genre. So I started looking up steampunk and steampunk instruments, and then I found Abney Park, and I was like, wow, okay, there's a steampunk band. That's a cool idea. I'm like, we're starting a band anyway. I want to make a steampunk guitar. What if we just make The Cog Is Dead a steampunk band? And so that was sort of the origin of it. From the beginning, it was just, I'm just going to start a band and I'm going to write songs, because I'd already been a songwriter and been making music. And so there was no real direction. It was just like, I want to make music and start a band. And everything just lined up perfectly. The name completely by chance, and then discovering steampunk, becoming a steampunk band with a steampunk name. And at the time, because to be honest, I didn't think anyone was going to care. I honestly thought that The Cog Is Dead was going to be this weird, nerdy band that showed up at local biker bars in Daytona and got weird looks, because we started out in the Daytona Beach, Florida area. And I honestly just figured, we were going to be the band that showed up in costumes and people just stared at us like, the heck are these guys? And we'd get booed off the stage. I had no idea that steampunk was going to grow into the massive community and fan base that it has become. So yeah, a lot of that was just sort of fortunate timing, unknowingly picking the right genre and subculture at the right time, and everything just fell into place. Never could have predicted that, and I'm extremely thankful that things have gone the way that they have. All right, let me keep on moving along. So many comments. I'm missing things. Where do we leave off? Oh, whose guitar was it? It was the first guitar that I saw was not from a band. No, it wasn't on was Pinterest even around in 2006? I'm not even sure. I found it on Google image, just doing a Google image search. But I do remember the guitar was called the Villainizer, and it was by a company called, I think, Thunder Eagle Customs. In fact, since, I'm on my computer right now, I should be able to find an image of that guitar. Let's see. Let's try. And what do you know? There it is. Let's see if I can find a good image, and then I'll pull it up. Oh, actually, there's the guitar that inspired my first guitar as well. First, let me show this one. Let me open this in a new tab. And then open this. All right. So, switching back over. Sorry, I know I'm dragging here. Okay. So this is the first guitar I ever saw. The first steampunk guitar I had ever seen. And like I said, it had the gears on it. That was, I pretty much, stole that right off the design. Having that little cutout window with the gears. It's got the pressure gauge. It's got brass pipes or copper pipes, and it's got little light bulbs and things on it. But I love the corroded look. I guess it didn't have panels of metal, but it just had this corroded look and had little rivets all along the border. So I thought that was cool. But that was the guitar that introduced me to steampunk. And then after that, I found this guitar, which I'm sure you'll notice looks a lot like mine. How do I open there we go, open image. I want to zoom in. So yeah, that looks an awful lot like mine because it's the same model. But when I found this, I'm like, I have that same guitar. I should make my guitar look like that. Now, obviously mine is not identical to it. But I the color scheme, having the rivets around the border, having the little gear cutout window right here in the same spot. Yeah, this guitar was definitely the inspiration for my guitar, which you already saw, but just a little back and forth. So, yeah. But mine had a little bit more embellishments. I had a clock and a little faucet knob. All right. Anyway, let's get back on track. I've only played one song so far. Hey everybody. Let me play another song and then we'll continue on. I saw a few requests for some different things. I know what did we someone said Oil on the Floor. I think I'm gonna play that one because it's one of my favorites from the new album. Oil on the Floor came together extremely quickly too. In fact, the whole way that song came about, it would have never come about if I hadn't gone and bought a ukulele. Oops, man, I'm not with it today. I bought this ukulele at a local music store because I just wanted to get a ukulele that sounded nice, and I liked the way this one sounded. So I bought this ukulele, came home, and just started strumming and playing around, and just found the chord progression and strumming pattern and just started messing around. Literally in a matter of minutes. I sat down, I started strumming, and I liked the way it was sounding, so I just opened Pro Tools and started recording, and just kind of got lost in it. And so over the course of the weekend, because it was a Friday, I bought it on Friday, came home Friday evening and started recording. And then Saturday, got back to it and kept working. And then once I had a more fleshed out idea, somehow the melody seemed a little sad and just led me into thinking about this robot. I also liked the line, I gave you my heart because I knew you'd need it more. And the idea of a robot literally giving his heart to another one, because apparently in this world robots have hearts, but they're mechanical hearts. Anyway, and where's Frederick? Frederick is right over here. He has not been used yet in the show. All right, let's play Oil on the Floor. When I met you, I gave you my heart, 'cause I knew you'd need it more. And though I'm glad you've got this new part, still it leaves me very sore. I'm glad that you will be alright. There's nothing else I could ask for. So go enjoy your brand new life as I bleed oil on the floor. Summertime, the air was warm and fine, but she was just sitting there all alone and in despair with a broken heart. She'd been torn apart, shattered and abused. He left her barely taking. Joanna was her name, reduced to just a frame, hollow husk of a machine where a ticker once had been. Such a lovely soul, now an empty hole. I could tell really she was still worth fixing. When I met you, I gave you my heart, 'cause I knew you needed more. And though I'm glad you got this new part, still it leaves me very sore. I'm glad that you will be alright. There's nothing else I could ask for. So go enjoy your brand new life as I leave oil on the floor. Just lay here and close my eyes as I slowly drift away. And though I know that I cannot die, I can rust and I'll decay. I know Joanna will be fine. That's all that I was hoping for. Perhaps someone will find me too in all this oil on the floor. Thank you all so very much. So yes, I see Funko Pop for the. I would love for there to be Cog Is Dead Funko Pops. I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing they do. I've considered ordering custom ones. There are plenty of people on Etsy and places that make custom Funko Pops, and yeah, I've thought about it. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do. I've got quite a few little pop figures around here. I've got Weird Al right there, my hero. Weird Al is undoubtedly my biggest musical influence, which makes sense since I am, a big musical nerd. Random Colonel Sanders. My wife got it because I thought it was funny. Yeah, I've got a few of those. I got Doc Brown, Marty, Chell from Portal. This is not a pop figure, but this is an actual figure of the Barbarian from Clash Royale. This is a character that I got to do voice. If you ever played the game Clash Royale, I provided the voice for the Barbarians. So if you play the Barbarian card, any of the noises of them like going out to battle, that's me doing the voice of the Barbarian. So yeah, I got to voice 4 different characters in Clash Royale, which is also why I've got a little Clash Royale poster up there on the wall. Oh, now you can see all the cables hanging down. I only designed this room to look good from certain angles. But yeah, in Clash Royale, I got to do the voice of obviously the Barbarian, the Lumberjack, the Electro Wizard who does that zap, electricity. Yeah. And the Knight. He's got a little bit of a French accent they wanted. Oh, yeah, that's the Knight from Clash. Anyway, have I done any other voice acting roles? Yeah. Actually, I haven't talked about that on Streaming the Steam before, have I? Yeah, those are actually my 2 jobs. I make music and I am a voice actor. So when I'm not doing stuff, for music and Cog Is Dead, I'm auditioning and acting in different projects. I have done voiceover for the History Channel on a documentary on D-Day. I was in a couple segments on the show Adam Ruins Everything, where I got to voice Tom Cruise and Hugh Hefner in the Hollywood episode, where I got to say, so if you like the Hollywood sign, thank me. Which is now an online exclusive on YouTube. If you, yeah, I've done. I'm trying to think of like anything. Obviously, well, from the Hat in Time fans that I've seen, know I am the voice of the mafia boss in A Hat in Time, who has lines like "Mafia Ball" and various other. He's one of the bosses that you fight. But yeah, I have been voice acting professionally for close to 10 years now. My first official gig that I booked as an online voice actor was in 2011. And I've been doing it full time now for 7 years, and it's just one of my passions, one of those things that I like to do. So I've shown the cartoons, the socially distanced cinema. I did all the voices in those. Next week I will be doing another one, or not playing that, but I'll be showing a cartoon, not socially distanced cinema, but another cartoon that I also got to record voices for. Any commercials? I have done commercials. Not like, I don't know if there's anything you all would specifically know, because there's nothing really national. Well, there's a company called Paulig Coffee. I don't know where they're based. They're not based in the U.S., but I got to do a commercial where I got to sing as a singing coffee bean. Various things like that. Let's see. Let me go in and see if I can find something to show. All right. See, this is a very random show, I told you. I'm literally just kind of going from topic to topic. Moving from topic to topic, it was really quite hypnotic. Got to find the folder. My computer is even messier than my house. Or, I shouldn't say my house, my rooms. My wife is a neat freak. I am the opposite. I clean when I can. My thing is I'm so busy I don't always have time to clean. So once I'm done with a major project, then I do like a major cleaning, and the whole studio looks amazing for, a couple weeks until I have another major project, and then everything falls by the wayside once again. Oh, there. That's what I'm trying to remember. Which thing? All right. So I'm gonna switch out of studio mode here for a second. All right. Here's a commercial that I recorded voiceover for.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Snap Games. The Lean Mean Ninja Team versus Shredder's gang of mutants. Which side will you be on in the Battle Snap Sewer Slam Challenge? Select your ninja. Choose his power. And it's go time! Booyakasha! Unleash some sweet Battle Snap technology. Change up your power for round 2. Weapon, mutagen, or pizza. Ready, fight! Nice takedown! Good guys win, and the bad guys eat shell. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Snap Games. Sold separate.
So, yeah, little things like that. But yeah, that's what I do. That's why I have, the studio set up the way that I do as well. Because you don't necessarily need this much acoustic foam if you're just recording music. You just want to tackle a few reflections. For voiceover, you want a vocal isolation booth. You want to avoid having any echo at all, if at all possible. In fact, when I'm doing voiceover, I put little mutes over the guitar strings because, when you're really loud, sorry, that might have been loud. I don't know if you can hear it, but the strings are vibrating because they're acoustic instruments. That's what happens. So I have to mute all my strings with little foam wedges. And I have a curtain, a moving blanket that I drop down behind me to try to keep this whole space as echo-free as possible. Let's see. What are my favorite bass lines to play? I don't play a ton of bass. Well, I record bass, but I don't play a lot of bass lines necessarily. I think one of my favorites is, oh man, and now this, I haven't tuned this in forever. This is my acoustic bass. Oh, that is way out of tune. I haven't played it in so long, I forget. Anyway, the bass line for I Want Only You is one of my favorites. It's something like that. And again, I haven't played it in so long, I don't even remember. Can you play a bass with that thing from a violin, with a violin bow? Actually, I rarely ever mess with a violin bow, but on the song Loverboy, which is the first song I played on the show today, when recording it, there's one little segment at the end of the bridge where it's got these little violin strings like da, 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 da. And at the time I didn't have a big sample library, so I used a few synth violins, but I actually used this bass and a violin bow and just bowed something like that. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was using the violin bow on this bass to make that little to mimic the sound of a cello. So yeah, I have done that. I do have a violin for the bow. It's also back in the big storage area because I don't play violin. I have it because every now and then I find a use for it. That's also why I have a lot of different instruments. I mean, I have a banjo. I'm not a banjo player. I wish I could pluck, like, you know, really, really good finger picking, but I mean, you know, I still use it for recording all the time. I went to the store the other day. Ooh, what am I doing? There we go. I had $1. I sold it. Why'd I do that? You don't sell money. This is what happens when I'm completely spontaneous and have no plan for a show. I'm probably boring you all to death being a complete idiot. But I'm having fun because it's so informal and casual. I've never done a show like this before. I said next week things will be back to the usual routine, but this has been enjoyable. Let's see. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed. Glad you were finally able to catch me live. The fire. You know what? It's been so long since I've done it, but we've done the Firefly theme and cover a couple. We've done a cover of the Firefly theme in concert a few times. Yeah, what the heck? It's not like we're timed right now. Let me look it up because I don't remember the chords. Let's see if I can start on G. No, I keep it right. A. Yeah, let's give that a shot. I'm probably going to screw it up royally because I haven't played this in a couple of years. I had to look up the chords online. But that's all right. This will be fun. The theme from Firefly. Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out to the black, tell him I ain't coming back. Burn the land and boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. There's no place I can be since I found serenity. But you can't take the sky from me. There we go. Now it's really random requests going on. What made me do the bad guy cover? Thank you, because it was wondrous. Thank you. That was just driving in the car, and I had the radio on, and Bad Guy was a huge hit, last year. It was like constantly on the radio. And just, listening to it and the structure of it, it was a darker song in a minor key. I liked the way it sounded. The big thing was I was like, man, if I were to take this and do it in a like more accordion tuba, like that kind of traditional like folk instruments and a darker sound, it could be really fun to do. So that's just kind of what sparked the idea. Sometimes I'll be listening to music. Well, no, I listen to music all the time. It's kind of my passion. I love music, and so if I'm not writing or recording, I'm listening. and getting ideas. And recently I've been doing a lot more covers, partly because I've been so busy working on cartoons and other things that I haven't had as much time to write. But I've also been really enjoying doing covers because, you know, I'm not just taking songs and just making like a straightforward cover of it. Every cover that I've recorded so far, there's been a reason to it. Like there's something about the song that clicks with me. I'm like, this would be really fun to take it and twist and put a Cog Is Dead slant on it. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed the cover. There was something. There was so hard to keep up with all these. I'm trying to keep up. Oh, that's right. So someone mentioned the strap. You said the strap was gorgeous. Thank you. This was a strap that I found just on Amazon. But that reminds me, I have to show you all this absolutely gorgeous strap that someone made for me recently. It's right over here. So this was partly to thank me for working on a song for them for the podcast, Wolf at the Podcast. I recorded the theme song. And Chris, the gentleman who does the podcast, does leatherwork. It's a podcast all about cosplay, leather crafts, basically makers and creators and creatives. So anyway, he just offered to make me this guitar strap. So let's see if I can get a good view of it. But it's real leather from the Tandy Leather Company in Tucson, Arizona. It's got gears, all kinds of little details, and I absolutely love this guitar strap. So I put it on my Gibson Les Paul, which was the second guitar that I steampunked out. This one I wanted to keep simple. I did this one probably around 2007 or 2008. I don't remember exactly when, but I wanted to keep it nice and simple. I wanted to make it look like it was still made of metal, still add little rust spots here and there. These are just furniture tacks that I put all around it for rivets. I just hammered them right on into the wood because, you know, this is a heavy, solid wood guitar. Got a pressure gauge up here, and that's really about it. It's nice and simple. And then my other steampunk guitar, I have a few. My acoustic, it's literally just painted and then I glued cardboard gears onto it. This is the one that I use in concert all the time, or at least I did, when we had concerts. But it's because I love this guitar. It's probably the most versatile guitar as far as for live situations, at least for me. Everybody has their own preference, but this is just a Fender Strat. Not a very expensive one. I got it on eBay for like $250 back a while ago. Similar thing, I put a fake pressure gauge on it that I printed out the face of a gauge, stuck it on there. This is the cover from like either a little tap light. Actually, it is, because this right here is a tap light. There's actually a light in there. If I change the batteries, it lights up green. But the little cover that you push on, that's all that is one of those. Little headstock, I wrote Sprocket guitar, or should I say Captain Sprocket? That's all it says. Try in place of the Fender logo. But this guitar has traveled with me all over the United States, and love playing this one live. I don't use it in the studio as much. For the most part, in the studio, I stick with the Les Paul. But when I'm playing live, this one's got a really nice bright tone. But it also, when you kick in the distortion, it's got a nice loud distortion for well, not loud, but a nice clear tone. So yeah, this is my guitar of choice for concerts. There's still demand for a song for Frederick. Is this a song about Frederick? I could probably make that happen one of these days. Yeah, to answer your question, so he says, so I used your songs as background music in a steampunk themed D&D campaign. Don't know if that counts as copyright infringement, but I'm sure you don't mind, right? No, not at all. I love when people use the music and incorporate it in different ways. A lot of people have let me know that they use the music for their D&D campaigns. And also, recently there was a fan film that I posted just the other day for the song Dr. Franklin that was stop motion animated with Legos. I love seeing fan films or fan videos or just different ways people incorporate the songs. Every time, like, it's always exciting knowing that there are people that listen to music that like it that much that they're not just listening to it, but they're inspired to be creative and do something. That's really cool. So yes, I always love when people want to make fan videos or do something with the music. That's a real honor. Well, I have been live for an hour. I see Snarkle Fleb says, "Can you make it in 1 hour?" Well, it's been an hour already. That's a bit longer than any of these shows before. Should I keep going? I don't know. This is a little long. I don't know. I'm having a good time. Maybe I should start wrapping things up. I do have other things to do, including sleep, because I've only had 2 hours of sleep. Maybe I'll play one more song, and I see people keep pointing out Lady Alexandria, which is what so many of you have named the accordion here. So my accordion has been unofficially, I don't know if I say unofficially, but named by the fans, not by me. So I guess my accordion's name is Lady Alexandria, along with Frederick the Kazoo. The Frederick song. Do I have a place for... that's a good suggestion, a fan mail. I've never really thought about fan mail. Oddly enough, I don't get a lot of requests for fan mail. I think it's because a lot of people send things electronically now, so most messages and things come through the email. But yes, I should set something up for fan mail. That's a good suggestion. All right, well, it looks like people are going to need to start going, which makes sense. It's getting late, so I will close out the show with the accordion, since you've all been mentioning it so much. Ooh, and I forgot to snap the other side shut. All right. And I keep saying, I do see your comments about Banjo-Kazooie. That would be a blast to do Banjo-Kazooie music. Speaking of Banjo-Kazooie music, the game A Hat in Time has music by the composer of the music for Banjo-Kazooie, Grant Kirkhope. So that was a fun little connection, getting to do a voice for a character in a game that he worked on. That was really exciting. I love his music. So yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, that would be really cool. Especially with accordion. Get me thinking about it. Yeah. The question, when live shows start up again, would there be a way to get one of my guitars signed by you? Yeah, if you just bring it on up to me at the show. I promise you, any of the shows that the Cog Is Dead plays or that I play are so casual and laid back. You will definitely get a chance to meet me if you'd like an autograph. I do not charge for autographs. I charge for prints if you want to buy a photo, but I sign everything for free. I mean, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a musician. I'm just a guy who makes music, and I am thankful to every single person that listens and that comes to the shows. So, yeah. Without an audience, without you awesome people, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I'm extremely grateful for everybody and all of the fans and everyone that listens. For A Hat in Time, I was the voice of the Mafia boss. He's the first boss that you fight in the game. He's got a red coat I think he's wearing a chef's outfit because they're the mafia of cooks. So when the Hat Kid approaches him, he's like, "So it is you. Ever since you landed in Mafia Town, it's been raining with timepieces." That's the character that I voiced in A Hat in Time. All right, I will close out the show with The Death of the Cog. Oh, Mr. Hamilton, what have you done? Look at this terrible trend you've begun. You make me sick, you contemptible dog. I blame you for the death of the cog. Clocks used to be such magnificent things, beautiful sprockets and dazzling springs, but you gave the people your digital beast, and in turn now years are deceased. How things have changed from when I was a boy. Clockwork would tick and would bring me much joy. But with your advent there's no need to wind. Everything charming has been left behind. Oh, Mr. Hamilton, you dirty fiend. Your modern timepiece is cruel and obscene. I was a lover of gears great and small. They all were my friends and you murdered them all. How could a person commit such a crime to murder immaculate keepers of time? Why should a person so foul get away? Hamilton, you're gonna pay! So, Mr. Hamilton, just watch your back. Idle those digital clocks on your rack. They'll soon end up smashed to bits in a bog because you caused the death of the cog! Thank you so much for joining me on this random, totally unprepared episode of Streaming the Steam, the spontaneous stream. I'll be back next week with a normal show. I think because of the theming I have in mind, I'm going to proceed with the guest that I had planned for next week. And then the week after that, I will have the week that was planned for this week. Yeah, I'm doing some rearranging. It's been a crazy few months. So next week on Streaming the Steam, tune in for a very fun episode featuring an interview with Professor Elemental, who just came out with a new diss track, and want to thank him for the shout out in the song. I totally didn't expect that, but thank you, sir. So, you all have a wonderful night, and I will see you all next week. Let me make sure I got all my stuff set up to close out the show. Yeah, all right. Good night, everybody.